we come to the Gurdwara, we sit, we listen to the Kirtan, we bow down to the Guru, and most of the time we don't get an opportunity to really sit and think, what is it that the Guru is so great for? What makes this Guru so amazing? How does this Guru's wisdom really apply in our day-to-day lives? And so, we have examples of great stories of the Gurus and how they lived their lives, but turning those stories into our life and what we can do with our life, this is very important. So I start by asking a question. What do you feel your life is like? Is it a happy life? What is your perception of your own life? Sometimes people see that life is full of meaningless events, nothing of any real significance. And some people live their life every day dukhi, udas vich, always seeing the negative in life. There are other people that are always looking for the next happiness, always looking for some new excitement. That in youth, people are always looking for the next khushi, whatever the next excitement is. So, in their ordinary lives, they're trying to look for something extraordinary. And in youth, we see that people are always looking outwards. Whether it is new experiences, new pleasures, new things to buy, new ways to delude themselves that happiness is somewhere outside. And then there are those people who are always living in the past, always remembering some old happiness. And sometimes in our older age in life, we might be living like this, thinking that in our youth, that was when all the fun was, all the good times were in the past, and now we have nothing great to look forward to. So take a moment just to think, which of these is my life? Am I a person that thinks life is boring? That happiness will come tomorrow? Or that happiness was yesterday? And in all of these scenarios, we see that the majority of people don't see that life is happy now. When you're young, all you can think about is growing up. Even my 2 children, both less than 10 years old, they're always telling me what they want to be when they grow up. They say, Dad, I want to be this when I grow up. I want to be that when I grow up. So even from a young age, they already have it in their mind that when I'm an adult, that's when the fun will start. And when we're adults, we're looking at children and we're saying, now is the time to be happy. We look at them and they say, look how easy their life is. They don't have any worries, no job, no mortgage. And they're looking at us and saying, look how great it is to be a grown-up. When I grow up, I get all the freedom in the world. I can do whatever I want. So then you grow up and you think, I want to get a new job. When you finish your education, you want to get a new job. You want to have money coming in your life. When you get a job, the only thing you look forward to is the time when you're not working. In the weekends, in the evenings. When you have money, when you have a job, then you want to get married. When you get married, then the next happiness is I want to have children. When you get children, then you can't wait for the children to grow up so that they can leave the house, so that you can be happy when the children are gone. So the question is, when does happiness come? When is this elusive thing called happiness going to come in our lives? So this is the way we constantly live our lives. always looking for happiness tomorrow, or thinking that happiness has come and gone and now there's no moment to be happy. And so what we do is we create what Gurbani calls Trishna, desire. This desire is always inside of us. This desire is saying that happiness hasn't come yet. There's still something else. And the way that that desire manifests in us is it gives our mind an idea, I want something. You know, sometimes we see concepts in Gurbani and we think of them as just concepts rather than actual wisdom that we can apply in our day-to-day life. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take Gurbani concepts and just simplify them into the most everyday words. And desire is a concept. I want is something that you and me all live with every day. I want. And as soon as you say, I want, what you're really saying is happiness lies at the end of that want. If you're sitting here, some of you might be thinking, I want to get out. I can't wait till I go and have langar. So what you're really saying is happiness isn't now, happiness lies when I get what I want. But we have to reflect on this idea that you want something. When you're saying, I want, and when you believe that happiness is going to come at the end of I want, and bear in mind this I want is for anything, even if it's I want a new job, I want to get married, I want children, I want a coffee, I want to eat something sweet. It's small things and big things. Every time you think that if I get what I want, I will be happy, what you're really saying is, I'm not happy now. I'm not content now. I'm not at peace now. Peace is only going to come when I get what I want. So one of the most important messages of Gurbani, which is the concept of desire, can really be simplified into any time you think, I want. As soon as you say, I want, what you're basically saying is, I am unhappy now. So desire means I want means unhappiness. Right now there is something unsettled inside you. And we live our whole life with I wants. If you think about when you wake up in the morning, there's already a list of things that you need to do. I need to go to work, I want to eat some breakfast, I have to do this, I have to do that. So you already wake up feeling agitated, feeling like there's something unfulfilled in your life. So we wake up in the morning and we're already unhappy, and then we spend the rest of our day trying to work through our list of all the things that we need to do, thinking that by the end of the day we're going to be happy. How many times have you come home and you've said, I'm happy? You don't. We don't do that. We come home from work, and because we're so stressed for going to work, having to sit through hours of traffic, you come home and either you just want to put the TV on or you just want to eat some food and go to bed. Where does the happiness come? When is that going to come? And we spend our whole life not knowing how to find happiness. And Gurbani gives us an idea that there is a way of being happy now. There's a way of living in contentment now. Santok. How do we find that santok? How do we find that happiness? Gurbani says that if you keep looking for tomorrow for happiness, that means that you're not realizing that there is already happiness now. Within you, every single one of us, there is this happiness now. And we just have to learn to change the way we look at life in a slightly different way. Gurbani says Hukam is a very important concept. And most of the time we have understood Hukam to mean God is controlling the big things in life. Like we talk about Hukam as though God will decide when I get married, God will decide how many children I have, God will decide when I die. That's the big Hukam, that's what Hukam means. But in reality, Hukam is the universe right now. Whatever is happening right now is Hukam. You sitting in this darbar right now, this is Hukam. Listening, talking, breathing. Hukam is not something far away, it's happening right now. But we don't understand that there is some happiness in this moment right now. So what we do is we're always living in our mind. Within our mind, we spend all of the time thinking about where else is happiness going to come from? What else can I do? This is not good enough. Can anyone honestly say they're sitting in this divan hall right now and they're so happy? They're the happiest they've ever been. And so we don't understand that actually because the reality of what we're seeing right now feels normal. We don't understand that there's some happiness in this. We think that this normal life, this normal moment right now is boring. And so in our mind we make up an idea that some happiness is going to come if I come up with some new idea. Do you know what we call something that exists in your mind but doesn't exist in the real world? It's called a fantasy. You and me, we're always living in this fantasy in our mind. And what Gurbani is saying is, don't live in your fantasy, live in reality. This very moment is reality. And if you can just change the way you look at this moment, you can see that this reality can give you a happiness. So how do we do that? First, we have to understand how are we navigating through this reality. I like to use a simple example of a fish swimming in a river. The river is always flowing in one direction. Now imagine one day the fish gets an idea that I want to change the flow of the river. I want the river to go that way. Can that happen? Can the fish change the flow of the river? It can't be done. But the fish is convinced he can do it. So what he does, he starts swimming in the opposite direction. The river is flowing one way, and the fish starts swimming in the opposite direction. I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to make the whole river go my way. The river will never change direction. So the fish keeps trying, because he doesn't accept that the river is going this way. He wants the river to go that way. So he keeps trying, and eventually he fails. The river won't move. So then what does he do? He blames the river. It's the river's fault. And this is how you and me live as well. We don't understand that the universe is going to do what it's going to do. Every day we have our own fantasy about what we want the universe to do. So we want to change the direction of the whole universe. We think, no, this is the right way to live. This is the right thing. These things must happen. And when life doesn't go our way, what do? We blame. We blame God. We blame everyone else. But we don't blame ourselves for not understanding that the life was going to go this way in the first place. Life was always going to go in this direction. We just had a fantasy that life was going to go in the opposite direction. So because of our fantasy, we think it's okay to blame life. And then people get to the point where they decide that God doesn't exist because God hasn't given me what I want. This concept comes up very nicely in Sukhmani Sahib. Guru Arjan Dev Ji writes about how many things do you have in your life and how many things do you appreciate? Guruji talks in very simple language and starts by saying, Das bastu le pache pave. You and me spend every moment thinking about all the things that we want to get. But the things that we get, we haven't even understood. Das bastu le pache pave. The 10 things that you get in life, bear in mind these 10 things are just a metaphoric number. Guruji is saying you get lots of things in your life and you just put them behind you. Ek bast karan bikhot kavave. But when there's one thing that you haven't got in your life, anything, mera ek kam nahi hoya. When that thought comes into your mind that this has not happened in my life, then bikhot gavave. Then you lose your faith. How many times do you come to the Gurdwara? You maybe do an ardas, Maharaj, let me have this in my life. If it comes, changi gal hai. If it doesn't come, then you start questioning, how does this work? Why hasn't the Guru listened to me? We have people singing shabads like Jo mange Thakur apne te soi soi deva. And we think that means whatever I ask, I'm going to get. You know, there's a children's story, Aladdin and the magic lamp. We've turned Waheguru into a magic genie. That all you have to do is stand up for 2 minutes. It's like you rubbing the magic lamp. And we expect Waheguru to come out and say, your wish is my command. That's what happens in the story. Aladdin, he finds a magic lamp. He rubs the lamp. A genie comes out. And the genie says, I'm going to grant you wishes. You're my master. Your wish is my command. The genie becomes the slave of Aladdin. And we think if we stand and do ardas, that Waheguru becomes our servant. And Waheguru has to give us whatever we want. Isn't this a fantasy? So Guruji wants us to think in a different way. So when you get 10 things in your life and you just forget about them, and the one thing that you don't get in your life, you start losing your faith. How can this happen? Guruji didn't listen to me. Why Guru doesn't listen to me? Then Guruji gives us a bit of an explanation how we should really start thinking. Ek bhi na de, das bhi hir le. You know that one thing that you didn't get? What about all those 10 things that you were given? Don't forget those. Guruji says, what if all of those 10 things were taken away from you? Everything that you were given in your life, that you forgot about, that you take for granted, what if all of them was taken away from you? What if your health was taken away from you? What if your body was taken away? What if your money, your house, your car, your family, your children were taken away from you? What if your own breath was taken away from you? To muda kaho, kaha kare. Then Guruji is being a parent to us and telling us off and saying, come on, foolish person, tell me. Then what are you going to do? What will you do? So we spend all of our time in the fantasy that I came up with an idea that life was supposed to go this way, and it didn't go my way, then I'm allowed to be angry at Waheguru. So we're living in a fantasy. Because the thing was never in our hand, it was only in our mind. Whatever the idea was, even if it's a good idea, even if we think, I'm allowed to ask this thing because this is a good thing. Sometimes we think that, I'm only asking for the health of my family. I'm only asking for the education of my children. These are good things, I'm allowed to ask for these things. No. Asking for anything is a fantasy in your mind. That's not what the Shabad means. Jo mange Thakur apne te soi soi deva. That is a Shabad written by somebody in that avastha, that state of mind, and he says, Nanak das mukte jo bole iha uha sach hove. Guruji is saying that When you get to such a level, you are connected that whatever is coming out of your mouth is the words of Waheguru. That is the words of truth. That you're so connected that you're not worried about the false worldly things. You're connected at such a level, you're so in tune with this oneness of Waheguru, that your words are Waheguru's words. That is the ultimate Sach. Mukte jo bole iha uha sach hove. Here and there, it's only the words of Sach. Those are the words of Sach that are coming out. At that level, whatever you say will come true. Not at our level. Because if we think Jo mange Thakur apne te soi soi deve, whatever you ask the Master you will get, then Sangat ji, all of us should be lottery winners today. Every single one of us should have won the lottery by now. Every single one of us should be millionaires by now. Because that's all what we want. We all want that. And we all think in our mind we're allowed to have that. Maybe other people get it or they don't get it, we're allowed to have it. So it doesn't work like that. That's not what Guruji is saying. Guruji isn't giving you a magic lamp. Waheguru isn't a magic genie. Whatever you ask for, you will get. That's not what it means. So the fish can't continue to blame the river. So Guruji is telling us, if you forget the one thing, if you think about the one thing that you didn't get, but you forget the 10 things that you got, what if everything gets taken away from you? Jis Thakur syo nahi chara, tako kije sad namaskara. That one Waheguru, let's use the example of that river. That river that is never going to change because of you, all the fish can do is let go and say, okay, I submit to your power. The power of the river, of the current, is much stronger than the power of the small fish. And the power of us is much smaller than the power of the whole universe. That power, that master that is never going to go away, just Thakur syo nahi chara, that force that cannot be moved, tako kije sad namaskara. All you can do is bow down in humility and say, you are in control, I'm not in control. What control do you have? What control do I have? We learn about it in Japji Sahib. Akhan jor chupan hai jor, jor na mangan den na jor, jor na jivan maran hai jor. We don't have the power to speak, to listen, to live, to die. Jis hath jor kar vikhe soy. The one who has the power, they're the ones that are doing it. Nanak uttam neech na koi. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, you and me are nothing. We might think someone has more money or they have more power, they're more influential. But in the eyes of the Guru, even presidents are nothing. Even if they think they have power, tell the president, can you control how many breaths you're going to have? What control do you have? Do you see, there's no presidents, there's no kings and queens, and we see ourselves as small. Guruji makes everyone level. Nanak uttam neech na koi. Why? Because it's like one fish looking at a bigger fish and saying, oh, you got so much power. But when you look at the river, then all the fish don't have any power. No point comparing ourselves to other fish in the river. Look at the power of the river itself. Jake man laga prabh meetha. Now Guruji gives us a new way of looking at life. That person who finds the work of Waheguru as sweet in their mind. Jake man laga prabh meetha. The one who sees that normal life, reality. Remember that boring reality that we talked about? Where life is boring? The one who sees that boring life as actually something sweet. Sarb sukh tahu man bhutha. What does that person get? All the happiness. How do we look for happiness in life? We look for happiness by always looking outside. I'll get happiness when I buy this. I'll get happiness when something greater comes in life. When the next thing comes, that's when the happiness is going to come. But Guruji says that who finds reality, what Waheguru is doing right now, the hukam of the universe right now as sweet, one who sees that moment, this very moment as mittha, as sweet, that person has all the happiness in life. Jis jan apna hukam manaya. The one who accepts that this is the reality of life, and who manaya, the one who understands within their mind, okay, my fantasy is not going to come real, reality has some happiness in it. Jis jan apna hukam manaya, the one, that servant, the one who has realized that God isn't my servant, I am God's servant. I'm not in charge of the whole universe. I can't tell the universe what to do. The universe is in control of me and I am just a servant of that whole power of the universe. That jana, one who understands the hukam, sarbathok nanak tin paya, they obtain all things. So Guruji gives us a new way of looking at life. And what this way of looking at life is that right now the universe isn't lacking anything. There's nothing missing in the whole universe. In fact, the whole universe is overfilled. It's abundant. Think about life just for a moment. I like to watch these nature documentaries where you see how animals are living in harmony with each other, how plants and all life seems to be living in harmony with each other. Then I think, why do we think we're clever? The natural universe seems to be cleverer than us. Think about this for a moment. The whole, we can call it ecosystem, the system of nature, is so finely tuned that everything has food. Can you think in nature, no fish, no dog, no cat, no lion, tiger, no sheep, none of them need to go to the store to buy anything. None of them need to have any money in their life. None of them need to have any jobs in their life. There's just a perfect system. The universe has been created in such a way that there's enough for all of them. So the universe has found a way to always just keep giving. Nobody's running out. And all the beings are in this perfect harmony, this cycle. Nothing is ever wasted. So the universe is always giving. Even when something is destroyed, it becomes food for someone else. Plants are food for animals. When the animal dies, it becomes food for a bigger animal. When the biggest animal dies, it becomes food for bacteria. The bacteria breaks that big animal down into small pieces, and those small pieces go back into the earth. That becomes rich, fertile soil, and that rich, fertile soil becomes food for new plants. Look at this perfect system. Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second Guru, talks about this. Jiyan ka ahar ji. Khana eh kare. That all beings, all life forms live off other life forms, are all eating each other, and this is the food for them. Guru Angad Dev Ji talks about all lives, all beings are feeding off other beings. And so there is us sitting in this universe and we're thinking the universe is imbalanced. There's something wrong. I have to go and do lots of different things. But very few people are able to sit back and recognize that this system itself is perfect. And it is so full, it's so full of joy. And those people recognize life as bountiful, as giving, and they see that life is a grace. They call it grace. Life is just constantly giving. In Japji Sahib, right in the third verse, towards the beginning, we hear about the people who recognize life as always giving. Gave ko taan hove kisse taan. Gave ko daat jane nisan. Some people are singing about the taan, the power of the universe, if they have the power to do that. And some people are singing about the daat, that the universe is always giving. And they recognize the universe as a giver of gifts. Gave ko daat jane nisan. They recognize that this is what the universe is like. This is the nishani of the universe. That it's always giving. There's very few people are living in that state of mind where they're always singing the praises. So to those people, every moment is a reason to be thankful. Everything that they've got in life is a reason to be grateful. Everything in life is a gift. Everything in life is seen as a gift. And when you keep getting gifts, then your mind becomes humbled. Dinda de lande thak paye. Bas karo Maharaj, you're giving me too much. You keep giving me so much that I can't even understand why I've been blessed with so much. They also know that every gift that has been given is not for them to keep. Every gift is on rent. Every gift is for them to borrow for a while, but eventually they have to give that gift back. Even your breath. If you take one breath in, can you keep it? You have to let it go. You have to give it back. Every breath that you take in, you have to give it back. Your body, can you keep it? No, you didn't make it. It's not your body actually. It's a gift. It's been given to you. It's been created out of this tarti, this Mata Tat Mahat, this great mother of the earth that's created our body. It's a gift. So we need to learn to think about life in this different way. We need to think about this, and we need to see how much have we been given. Have a think for a moment. Rather than spending your day thinking about what you don't have, just spend 1 minute now thinking about how much you have been given, and think about those people who would love to have everything that you have in your life. Think about the people in the world who would love to have what you have. And then we're looking around and being sad and thinking, Mera ta kuch bhi nahi, I don't have anything. There's nothing in my life that makes me happy. Just if we look at this body for a moment, think about this. Think about the miracle of your body. Anybody who's recently had a child, they will tell you it is an absolute miracle. We don't even understand what's going on. Even the mother and the father don't understand how from 2 cells can this amazing thing be grown, and they say it's a miracle. 2 cells unite and all of a sudden eyes come out, ears, head, skeleton, bones, flesh, organs, and the heart starts beating. Where does this body come from? Isn't it really a miracle? And you have one. You have a body. We don't see it as a miracle. We just see it as, of course, I have a body. Who doesn't have a body? Sangatji, there are a lot of people who don't have perfect bodies. There are a lot of people who would love to have the body that you have. So we've forgotten that this is a gift. We forgot to see that the body is a gift. I like to use this example with my children, that if I buy you a robot and I don't buy you any batteries, how much fun will you have with that robot? A little toy, a little Kadona. How much fun will you have with a toy that doesn't have the batteries inside? They said, not much fun. So I've just explained that you have a body. That's like the outer shell, like the toy, maybe a toy robot. Now think about this. When you switch the robot on, it comes alive. What is switching us on right now? What is on? What is switched on inside of us? Have you ever thought about it? Think about the difference between you and somebody who's passed away. What's the difference between you and somebody who's passed away? Same body, same eyes, same ears. They have everything the same as you. All the teeth are still there. hands and feet. The difference is you're switched on and they're switched off. What is it inside you that is on? You know, when we're young and we go to college and we study things like electricity, if I give you a light bulb, it's not going to come on its own. Then you start learning about circuits and wires, and you learn that it's electricity that's switching them on. If a child is saying, "Mom, Dad, this toy doesn't work," you say, "Oh, I put some batteries in there and that'll give it the power to switch it on." Now think about, what is the battery that is running you, that is keeping you alive right now? What is that Shakti? What is that power? You're running without batteries. Every day you wake up and your batteries don't run out. Every night you go to sleep and something gets recharged. What is that power? That is also a gift. Life energy inside you is a gift, because who knows when your body and my body are going to be switched off? Do we know? We don't know. When is it going to be switched off? Have you ever thanked the universe for that energy inside you that's switched on? Even that's a gift. We don't think about these things. So this robot is running, every day it gets up and it moves, and it never appreciates that there's a battery that is keeping it going. 24 hours this battery is running, never runs out. What about food? Do we ever really think that there is a possibility that life can exist without food? How would our life be if we didn't have food? A very basic thing. And where does this food come from? Nobody can make food. There's still not a person on earth that has invented a way to make food out of thin air. Where does all of our food come from? It's just growing. You put a tiny seed, so small, and a huge tree comes out of it. What is that miracle? We don't see life as a miracle. We just see, oh, there's a tree. There's a fruit tree. Here, I'm sure lots of you have orange trees and lemon trees and things growing in your back gardens. What is that miracle that from a small seed, things just keep going? This is what Guruji means, Denda De. It's constantly giving, the universe is giving. Tu data datar, tera dita khavana. You are the giver, and only what you give can I eat. Otherwise, can we make our own food? We can't do it. Where does this food come from? And this food is keeping this body alive. We say it's my food, my body, but it's not. It's a gift. Then there's the warmth of the sun. And nobody appreciates the warmth of the sun more than someone like me who comes from England, where the weather is so cold. Right now it's snowing in the UK. And I was thinking, for the weeks that I was coming here, I was looking forward to the nice Californian sunshine. Why? Because I don't have it. I spend 9 months of the year in cloudy, cold weather. How many of you have turned around and thanked the sun? More importantly, the energy of that oneness that is giving you the sunlight. Guruji tells us to do this in Jap Sahib. Namo Surja Surje, Namo Chandra Chandre. I bow down to the energy that is created sun. That one Shakti, that one power that has created the moon. When have you ever thanked for the sunlight? We do the opposite. We complain about it. Aaj badi garmi hai. It's too hot. We complain about it. And that's where Guruji is saying, oh foolish person, what if I was to take this away from you? Then would you be aware of what a gift this really is? There is the sun. The sun gives energy to the plants. The plants breathe in the air. The plants breathe in the air that you don't want to breathe, and it breathes out the air that you need to survive. Isn't that a gift? Every moment there's things happening all around of us, and we have the nerve to come to Gurdwara and ask for something more. Why, Guru? Give me this next thing. Why? Because you think happiness will come at the end of that thing. But happiness is right here, right now. Every breath is a gift. Have you ever thanked Waheguru for every saas? And Guruji is saying that with every breath you should be thankful. Saas saas simro gobind. Remember. And if you do that, man antar ki utre chind. If you do that, you just remember, oh my God, I have breath. Thank you, Waheguru. If you do that, the worries of your mind will disappear. And these are Guruji's words. Guruji is saying with every breath, if you just remember what a gift life is, then the worries in your mind will go away because you won't have anything more to ask for. You won't have anything more. And the universe is always giving at every moment. But we can think about life in this way, and we can say that all the natural things in life are a gift. We can say, chalo, I have a body, that's a gift. The sun, the moon, the earth, the food, the plants, all of that is a gift. But that gift doesn't make me money. I make my own money. I'm the one that goes to work every day, not God. If I didn't go to work, I wouldn't have anything. So I don't need to thank God for everything. At least something I can take some pride in that I did this myself. I did this work myself. Acha, if that is what you feel, that you're in charge of some things, how do you go to work? Which arms and legs do you use to go to work? Try and go to work without a gift. What breaths do you use to go to work? Your breaths or the breath that is a gift to you? How do you go to work? Okay, you can say, yeah, but that's something natural. But my brain is mine. I think about this myself. Okay, did you make your brain? Did you make your thoughts? Can you honestly say that you're in control of your thoughts? Where do thoughts come from? Do we know? Even the thought that says, I need to go to work, where does that thought come from? Do you think you're the creator of your own thought? Or is even thinking a gift? Even thinking is a gift. The body is a gift. The idea to go and look after yourself and look after your family, even that's a gift. Some people don't have that idea. Some people wake up in the morning, they don't have the idea that I need to do something. Or better in there, they don't do anything. Where did you get the common sense that says I have to go and do something valuable in life? Even that's a gift. So the universe is giving at every moment, and at every moment we need to realize that life is a gift. And when we recognize that life is a gift, then we start living in a way that is no longer selfish. Guruji explains in Japji Sahib that this giver gives without asking anything in return. Vadda data tilana tamai. Tamai means desire. That one Vadda data, that big giver that's always giving, denda de lande thak paye, that one, the one that's always giving. And the people like us, juga jugantar khai khai, the one that are always eating and consuming. Guruji is saying, this is the system. Hukmi hukam chalaye rao. This is the system. But the way it keeps giving, Vadda data tilana tamai. It doesn't ask for anything in return. What can you give back? Even if you had the idea that I should say thank you to Waheguru, you say, I'm going to give you something. What do you have that is your made that you can give? These hands and feet aren't yours. Even the money that you earn is not yours. This is when we see Guru's really explaining this very simple but very crucial concept. Tera kiya, tujhe kya arpo. That which you have given, how can I give it back to you? So the only thing that you have left is to completely surrender and accept this is all yours. Tan man dhan sab saunp Gur ko. Hukam maniya paiya. So all you have, whatever you think is yours, you have to change that mentality, that way of thinking that says, this is mine and I need to get more things, because happiness comes at the end of that. We have to change that way of thinking to realize every moment there is so much to be thankful for. Every breath, every thought, every qadam, every step that we take, everything is a moment to be thankful, and this is what Gurbani means, ke aat peher aradiye. 24 hours a day, you have the ability to, you don't even have to look very far. Everything that you look at is a gift. Every single moment is a gift, and with that simple way, we can eradicate so much suffering in the world through the Guru's gift, if we just understood that this is what the Guru wants us to think like. And this giver keeps giving, and it doesn't ask for anything else. And we should also live like that. And I don't mean that you give everything away. I'm not asking you to give your house away and give your car and everything away to charity and you're just going to live on the street. That's not what I'm saying. It's about changing mentality, that you change your way of thinking, that if I've been given these things, that these things can be shared. Life is about sharing, not about holding on to something, because you can't hold on to it anyway. You're not going to go with it. It's not going to go with you. So all of these things are borrowed. Everything that you see around you is completely on loan. You don't have to pay any interest, but you do have to give it back. And when the time comes to give it back, you don't know. It's on loan to you, but you don't know when it's going to be taken back. So we all have the ability to live like this, to give, to have a giving nature. Tilanatamai, that we don't ask for something in return. Most of the time, if you think about it, how do we give? We don't give in this way that we're always giving freely. We give expecting something in return. Even if it's a birthday present, you give someone a birthday present, you think, okay, maybe they'll say thank you. You do it even if you think, okay, they might not give me anything, but at least it'll make me happy. How many times do we give away things and it makes us sad? If something's going to make you sad, you're not going to give it away. So we give not in the way that Paramatma gives. Paramatma gives, keeps giving. We keep giving, and the people, we only give to our friends, we only give to our loved ones, our families. So Guruji is giving us a new way of thinking. And that way of thinking is that the whole world is a gift, and that every moment we can live like this. And Satsangaji, I said this to the children before and I say it to you now. This is why we bow down to Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, because Guru Granth Sahib Ji has the solution to solve a lot of the world's problems. The problems with depression, anxiety, stress. I've been so fortunate for the last couple of days. I've been from the UK traveling around California for the last 10 days. And I've had the opportunity to meet some amazing people, and people have been telling me, Satsangaji, within your own community, there are people right now, possibly some people sitting in this darbar, that are willing to commit suicide because they're so upset with life. Because whenever they go and they want to speak to someone, they don't know who to turn to. And so we haven't created an environment where people can come and say, come and sit with me, I want to talk. You can come to the Gurdwara, you can matha take, you can listen to Kirtan, you can listen to all the part, but in reality people are looking just for someone to speak to sit and say, please tell me what the Guru says. In the old Raitname, the rules were like this, that if one Sikh went to a new town, and another Sikh joins them in that town, it is the duty, once there are two Sikhs living in a town, it is their duty to set up a dharamsala. And a dharamsala doesn't mean a Gurdwara, it means a place where they can sit and do vichar of Gurbani, where they can sit and discuss what is Gurmat. I was lucky enough to go to Canada twice last year, and this is my first journey around this year. The work that I do is part of a charity called Nanak Naam. And the majority of the work that we do is about creating videos online on YouTube, Facebook, exactly to give Gurmat understanding to as many people as possible. Sometimes Sangat say to me, why are you doing Prachar in English? My response is, I want to see a day where Prachar is done in Spanish, in French, in German, in Chinese, in Portuguese. When they say Punjabi, the Punjabi is the only language we need. No, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not written in Punjabi. Guru Granth Sahib Ji has lots of different languages. Everywhere Guruji went, they spoke the language of the people. That's why there's so many different languages in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, even written in Guru's Banis. And all the Pagats, they all speak their own dialects, and we have those. So don't be afraid to talk to people about the wisdom of Gurbani in their language. This is really needed. And when I went to Canada last year, I was very fortunate that we set up 3 groups. One in Toronto, one in Calgary, one in Hamilton, just outside Toronto. 3 groups, which are groups, where all that is needed, there's no leader, there's no teacher, where just a group of people come together and they say, come on, let's talk about life problems. And this is something that you can go to a psychologist, to a counselor, and they call this talking therapy. There's such a thing called talking therapy. Just talking about your problems will solve half of your problems. In English they say, a problem shared is a problem halved. Sangat ji, we have the ability to do this. And I would encourage, in every Gurdwara that I've been to, and I'm asking the Sangat here as well, try and set up a group where people can just sit and talk about their problems, and that they can sit and discuss Gurbani. It is so simple. All you would need to do is to sit down and say, let's talk about one concept of Gurbani. Gurbani talks about dukh, let's just talk about dukh. Gurbani talks about naam, talks about ik, talks about hukam. What does it mean? Let's get together, no judgment. One of the biggest problems we have in the community right now is that we're so willing to judge everyone. This person hasn't taken Amrit. This person cuts their hair. This person drinks. This person eats meat. This person does this or that. Why? Are you so clever? Have we become so egotistical, so proud, that we can't see that around us our brothers and sisters are screaming for help? So Sangat Ji, I would beg you, please find a way that you can create a group, and don't wait for any leaders. You don't need any leaders. You don't need the Pracharaks. In the Sangat itself is the Guru. Where the Sangat gets together, that's where the Guru gets Pargat. So all you would need to do is get together and find a way and say, anybody with any problems, even if you don't have any problems, today we're going to do vichar on Maya. Today we're going to do vichar on happiness. Take one Shabad and just sit with people and allow people to talk about their problems. There are so many people that I've met, Sangat Ji, I'm not over-exaggerating. There are people that I've met that have told me how they tried to commit suicide. One lady I spoke to, she says, I took a bottle of pills and I drank the whole thing. And my body went numb and I went blue. And my mother came into the room and she held me in her arms thinking that I was going to die. These are real people in this state, in California, in our Punjabi community, that are dealing with real problems in life. And you know what, Sangat Ji, we have the solutions. Gurbani is the solution. Gurmat is the solution. But there's no point just coming and matha taking to Guruji and walking away. We have to do Koj of Gurbani. We have to take that Gurbani and say, yes, this is how we can really live these things. I really want to thank the Sangat for the opportunity to sit and do vichar with you. I thank you for all the support that you've shown the Nanak Naam charity. It is a non-profit organization. We do try and do as much research and khoj on Gurbani and how we can use Gurbani to help the world with their problems. So we do ask the Sangat to support us as much as possible. But more importantly, go online and watch the videos and actually see where Gurmat can help us in our life. And I'm sure I must have made lots of mistakes. So I do ask for forgiveness. I do ask for forgiveness that this katha wasn't done in the Guru's beloved language of Punjabi. But I think that the katha should be done in every language. I would love to see katha done in languages all over the world. We need to have Chinese pracharak and French pracharak, Spanish pracharaks. Let's get to a point where we are teaching the world what the wisdom of the Guru is so that they can teach everyone else. Otherwise, the whole world is burning. The world is on fire. Jagat jalanda rakhle. And Gurbani is the solution.